It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. John Ding is back with you for my final interview today, and we've got Coach James Counce, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. And, Coach, not the way you wanted to end the season, but we're going to talk about some good positives along the way anyway, but it faced a pretty good Blackman team.
Yes, sir, we did. And, obviously that's not the way we wanted it to end, but, I don't think any of us were ready for it to be over with, but, that is what it is. But yeah, we've come a long way, did a lot of things in a short period of time, and got it all rolling in the right direction. We just got to keep taking steps.
That was a game where Blackman took advantages of some mistakes, and I know there were quick scores. I think they scored 2 touchdowns in a minute's time. That's hard to come back from that, isn't it? I mean, when it happens that fast. It
is, and it puts you kind of out of what you wanted to do going into the game, and it kind of changes the direction, and that you're trying to do things offensively, and puts a little pressure on you, and that's part of the game, and being able to work through that, and the ball bounced your way, it's just one of those things, and that didn't work out for us.
We were talking in this region. The fact that you were fighting for a playoff spot is pretty complimentary in itself, because this league is just brutal. I mean, we've got so many good teams in it.
Absolutely. You got me still?
Yeah, I've got you.
Okay, I thought I lost you.
I thought I lost you too.
It is. No, sir. It's and obviously that's not, we were wanting to do more, and as we all do, and the things that I'm used to doing, and that's moral victories and things like that in the big scheme of things, and where we are in the development. You have to look at those things, because it kind of shows you if you're working in the right direction or not. And from those kind of things that we've had throughout the season, and the way that we've responded to adversity and those kind of things, I definitely feel like we're headed in the right direction. And it's just we got to continue to, our standards are standards, and there's not non-negotiables and those kind of things, and and it's all it's headed in the right direction.
Well, let me talk to you about a couple of those guys that are gearing you in that right direction. Melvin Boone, 5 tackles and a sack. Chia had 6 receptions for 82 yards and a touchdown, while adding a 21-yard carry. Chia, for one thing, he's a special player.
And there's one thing about both of those young men that you talk about, or that needs to be talked about, that both of them have. And, and it's that work ethic. It's that hunger. Is the desire to do things the right way when nobody's watching. What are you doing in the dark? Differently from what you do when people got eyes on you. And those two right there are grinders. And, and I think that, I don't know what these college coaches are looking at, but whoever gets those young men right there, their program will definitely be better just because they're there. I call them low-maintenance kind of kids. They do what they're supposed to do. You ain't got to worry about them. They're going to be where they're supposed to be, and they're going to do things the right way. And they definitely are 2 guys that represent, what we, what our standards are at Rockville. They represent that fully.
Coach Counce is our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating Coach's Corner. Coach, I guess what I'm going to ask you is, there are two things there's positives and there are negatives. Tell me what you thought was a positive in your direction, and then maybe some things that you feel like you need to work on for next year.
Well, I think, just quickly looking at it, I think that, the maturity, the amount of growth that we had in the locker room, playing for each other, doing things the right way for one another, handling our business in the classroom, which I feel like is a direct reflection of what you're going to put on the field. It's like I tell our guys, our locker room is a direct reflection of us. And, if I'm messy in the locker room, then I'm probably not going to be as detailed in my performance as I need to be. And those are the kind of things that I think throughout the year, we have worked on. I think that our guys have learned how to fight, grind, snap after snap, working towards. We had some games early on that we might have had it in control, and we let it slip back, and then we couldn't get it. But then later on in the year, we had those kind of games that we had found a way to win. And I think those are the positive things. And I think that our young men, we're still, we're younger than a lot of these other teams. We got 46 sophomores. Got a lot of those kids playing this year that are sophomores that hadn't had a whole lot of game reps. So as we had to go through the year, those guys got better. So I think we're going to have, a positive thing is we've got our standards in place. Guys know how I'm going to come to work every day. And then we got, a desire for each other requires us to work a little harder and hold each other to our standards. That's one thing I think we got in place. And then I think about all the youngsters that we have that we've got to play. And, just like, RC got how many catches? He had 75 catches, something like that this year.
Yeah.
So, guys like that, getting the reps, getting the game film, and knowing that, the opportunities are there, and then having guys that are going to be, we've got for 2 more years. They got every snap, this year.
I think there'd be a lot of coaches that would tell you they didn't want to play you. I think you have set that standard a little bit. You were a very scary team, and I think you're looking for a little bit more consistency next year too in all phases of the game. I think that would be something because, there were times that you all were really, really tough, and I think you want to see more of that than the other, right?
Absolutely. We wanted to change the way people looked at us, and we're not a pushover, and we're going to try to do things right. And I think that in year one in the region that we're in, I think that speaks a lot, for our kids and our coaches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a tough league, I'm telling you. But I think Rockville's in good hands, and I know you're looking forward to next year. I bet they're already in the weight room, aren't they? They've probably already started. Or did you ever leave?
Well, we worked out throughout the season, but then it's kind of more of a maintain and trying to keep kids healthy and that kind of stuff. But we did the what I don't like to do, the counting knee pads and those kind of things. We got that started, and then we're gonna get in the weight room Monday and get started for next year.
Let those sophomores be big juniors, right?
That's right. That's right.
Coach, it's been a pleasure all year talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next year, and hope we'll have a lot more wins to talk about too.
I do too, and I appreciate you guys and what you guys do for high school football.
All right, that's James Counce, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. This portion is brought to you by Dan France Concrete. My friend Dan, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. We'll be back with more here coming up.